Welcome to another in the series, the Sip and Chat. Welcome to another in the series, Sip and Chat, a place where we talk about issues that concerns us physically, emotionally, spiritually. You name it, we address it right here on Sip and Chat. Season's greetings, Merry Christmas to everyone. It's such a pleasure to be in your homes as we seek to enjoy this special holiday with everyone. Well, today I have with me a very, very special guest and native of the soil. Her name is Miss Denise Johnston. I'm so tempted to say Johnston because we have so many Johnstons in Jamaica, but her name is Johnston. Welcome, Miss Johnston.
Thank you so very much, Doc.
It is a pleasure to have you on the set, and this is Christmas time. And in Christmas, we do so many different things. It's a time of celebration. It's a time of families coming together. It's a time of doing so many things. But this program today is very special because you are in Jamaica at this season. Why?
I'm here because I'm the founder of Pamela Sunrise, which is a non-profit organization to help families affected by gun violence and trauma. So I'm here I came to bring what I thought would have been 100 children to an afternoon of laughter, children who've suffered from
Crime and
trauma.
violence.
Yes. But it turned out to be over 500. We had a room full of children and their adult caregivers.
Wow. And I say wow because what it says to us is that there are so many little ones who are so affected by issues of crime and violence. And it's something that continues to wreak havoc on our society. But we're believing that there is some light at the end of the tunnel. I want to compliment groups like 10,000 Men and Their Families and Pamela Sunrise and all other NGOs that continue to work and of course the formal units that seek to work against these high numbers and reduce the crime and violence. But what is Pamela Sunrise? Talk to us about that.
Okay, Pamela Sunrise was birthed out of my own personal trauma and the journey that I went on to find healing.
Okay.
I am the youngest sister of Jamaica's first female police officer to be killed by gunmen.
In the line of duty.
In the line of duty, yes.
Right.
So my sister, 37 years ago, was on her way to work when the bus that she was traveling in from Spanish Town to get to the commissioner's office where she worked was held up by gunmen who raped and shot her to death. It's been years of struggling with this trauma, not knowing what to do with it, until I came across Dr. Marjorie, who pulled me into her counseling services. And with that, with my faith, with prayer and the word, I have found the tools to overcome this trauma. And God has just sent me back to Jamaica to help those who are in the shoe that I was.
Wow. So right here, we're validating how important counseling is and professional care. And because of that kind of care that you had, I want to say a big shout out to Dr. Marjorie. Because of that, you were able to move from being a victim to now being a victorious, because now you come back to the island and you're able to galvanize through the help of the Ministry of Education. Talk to us about how this whole concept came into being. Because yes, your sister experienced such a tragedy, but talk to us about how you were able to use that and morph it into something positive.
You used the word earlier that really sparked what Pamela Sunrise is about. You used the word victim. A lot of people see victim as the person who the thing happened to.
Correct.
But they don't take into account the effect on the families. I was one such person who suffered. Persons think that, oh, your sister went through this. Oh, what a thing she went through. But you're left with the years of the pain
to manage.
And so
or not manage.
not manage.
To survive.
Yes, to get through.
To get through, right.
And so God has just placed this on my heart, a burden for those who are affected. I don't like the word victims, so I use the word affected by the gun violence. Those who've lost their breadwinner. Because in my case, my sister contributed a lot to our family's financial needs. And that was taken from us suddenly, right? It happened at a time,
Christmas, well, right around the holidays.
right around this period, because the day that I took the children was her memorial, right? Christmas was never the same for us as a family because we lost the person who was the glue to the family. She was Mrs. Claus, if for want of a better word, you know?
Right.
And so God laid it on my heart to reach out to, especially the children who are, because I was a child when it happened. I was a high school student, never got counseling, never got any form of care regarding it. It wasn't even acknowledged that I went through something.
Yeah, and we spoke, Denise, and I want you to go back there because in a previous conversation that we had, I heard, as you mentioned, that persons would say, "Get over this, man."
Oh yes,
yeah,
yes.
And I think that's such a.
So there are points where I was triggered along the journey. Of course, you're triggered every time something similar happens to someone, and I say similar. I'm talking about shooting or the death of someone through gun crimes. We never had anything like this happening in Jamaica before. So our case was an anomaly with no reference point. But every time it happens, you're triggered. One of my main trigger points was when I got a call 25 years after my sister's death, was at work, was working for NCB Capital Markets at the time, sitting at my desk, got a call to say, how would you feel if the person who killed your sister was given parole? Now, this person was given a death sentence. We didn't know that his sentence was commuted to life imprisonment. So to hear that he was alive and seeking parole was just a shock for me. My response to it, like any normal person, was that I broke down. The parole officer said, "You should have gotten over this by now."
What?
"You should go into counseling. This is a long time ago. You should have gotten over this by now." I remember asking her, "Where can I go to get counseling?" And she said, "I don't know, but you should." The funny thing about it is that I went to my pastor the night of it, and his suggestion was that I burn everything for
that
my
belonged
sister.
to her.
Right. Of course, I didn't take that suggestion because I wouldn't be able to unveil her picture on Saturday as I did with a nonprofit. Yeah.
So we definitely know that we have some gaps in our country as it relates to how we manage trauma and how do we treat these persons who are exposed to these different types of situations that really sometimes render them so hopeless and helpless, you know. How do you manage this anger, especially now, you know, at the time when you think about it was Christmas season, as I said, she was almost like the Mrs. Claus of the family. How do you manage that kind of anger? And what would you say to people who are going through trauma and they're holding very dear to their anger, almost as if to say that it's a right that they have?
Let's talk about the anger before we talk about management, because
Right.
I was a person who wanted to go in the police force for one reason only. I was the girl who would walk around with a knife, just wanting somebody to run upon me so that I could exact my revenge. I wanted revenge. And that is what trauma does to you. But in faith, in understanding what Christ has done for me, in finding forgiveness, in healing through counseling, I'm able to switch off. I'm able to manage it. I'm able to understand that this is not my cross to carry. So I let it go.
Wow. So you'd say to somebody, we know it's difficult, but if you get help, you can walk through this process and you're able to let it go and to use your situation that was so catastrophic and so traumatizing to turn into a testament and to make good of it. Talk to us a little bit about how was the response of the kids on it was one Saturday ago, which was Saturday the 5th, it was?
The 7th of
7th, right?
December.
Talk to us about what was that experience like. Did you have any encounter with kids, and did they speak up anything like that?
So our tagline at Pamela's Sunrise is changing lives and stories from pain to purpose. Our experience didn't stop at Saturday, but let me start with Saturday. I had so many persons coming up to me to tell their stories. I remember I had a little boy sitting in my lap saying, Miss, I can't, I asked him, are you laughing? Because the aim of Saturday was to bring these children to an afternoon of laughter. We've seen their tears, we've heard their cry. Now it's time to make them laugh again. So I had him sit in my lap and I asked him, did you? No. He walked by my sister's picture, he touched it and he said, who is this? And I explained to him that it's my sister. He said, did she die? And I said, yes. And he just came and just folded himself in my lap. And he said, my mom passed. And I said to him, did you laugh? He said, Miss, I can't laugh again. My mom just died. This little boy is about 7 years old or 6 years old. And I just hugged him.
Right. Because you were asking him if did he laugh in terms of enjoying
the play.
Play, right,
yes.
Right.
I hugged him, I prayed with him, and then I made him laugh. He would not leave my side until he got my number. There were others who came up to me to tell me their story of trauma and how it's affecting them. Now, because we're partnering with the Ministry of Education, we were asked to go to Lennon High School, which is the school that had the kids who died in the car accident last week, and to just speak to the children, the school actually, who are in mourning. So we did the staff on Tuesday, and yesterday we did the school population, breaking them in grades. What I had to say to Doc is that the sorrow, you can feel sorrow.
Right, right.
The moment we entered the school, the moment we entered the school, you could feel the sorrow. You could see it on the kids' face. After we shared with them yesterday and Monday, the smiles, the thank yous, the joy that they felt, we know that we are being effective at Pamela Sunrise by changing lives and changing stories. One of the things we emphasize is getting persons to understand that their story is important. In Jamaica, just like I was told, you're talking about this again, you're bringing this up again, let go of that, let go of the past. We need people to understand that their stories are important. It's not about kids must be seen and not heard, or when you fall, your parents like to tell you, what are you crying for?
Get up, man, and brush off your foot.
Get up, brush it off. What are you crying for? I'll give you something to cry about. No. It is important to express how you're feeling, because unless you're expressing how you're feeling, you can't heal. You can't heal what you don't reveal.
Yeah, I like that. Say it again.
You can't heal what you don't reveal. Yes.
That we always say, you can't conquer what you don't confront.
Yes.
And so a lot of people are trying to say that they're okay, but until they have confronted those demons, right? Not necessarily talking about demon, but those forces or those struggles that seem to buffet them and relegate them to a space, then they will not be able to move to the next level. So talk to me about your healing now. How do you know that you're healed?
Somebody asked me, I think it was a few years ago, somebody asked me, would you be able to go up to that guy who killed your sister and meet with him? And it's something I had to think about for a very long time. I can tell you right now, I'm in the place where I would love to meet this guy, not only love to meet with him, but to work with him. Because what a powerful story of forgiveness it would tell.
Mhm.
If he should share his side of the story and I share mine,
Right, right,
my
right.
God, oh my God,
Powerful.
I have found forgiveness. I've understood the power of forgiveness.
Mhm.
I I had so much to forgive. I had to forgive the government because I felt like they asked my sister to do this work without providing the resources for her.
Mhm.
I felt like I had to forgive the police force
Mhm.
who had her on a public transportation to do the government's work.
Mhm.
I had to forgive my family. I felt like if I was born in a better family, my sister wouldn't have to take the bus to work.
Mhm.
I had to forgive my sister because she died and she left me. I
Right,
needed her.
right, right,
Right?
right.
I had to forgive myself,
Right.
right? And I had to forgive those who killed her. And this come about because I understood what Christ did for me. He who had no sin took all of mine and he nailed it to a tree. Who am I to hold unforgiveness against someone else? I recognize that unforgiveness is like drinking poison and hoping that the other person will die.
Mhm.
So it is in forgiveness that I found my healing. It
Oh,
is in
wow.
counseling that I found my healing.
Wow, so powerful. I'm just so consumed by what you're saying, and I know that there are lots of people out there today who are hurting. And how do you make yourself accessible to, apart from Pamela's Sunrise? How do you make yourself accessible to others who would want to say, "I need to talk to somebody who knows and understands my pain"?
So I'm going to be bold enough to put my phone number out there.
Yeah, our producer will run it across the screen for you.
All right.
Right.
So the first place of contact is pamelasunrise.com.
Mm-hmm.
It comes straight to me.
Okay.
Right. My phone number is 510-943-9472. That's 510-943-9472. I must point out I am not a counselor. I am somebody who have overcome
Right.
trauma.
But definitely you can provide them, direct them rather to the professional care, because
Yes.
clearly it has been very powerful and very effective in bringing bringing new life and new hope to you. And a lot of people, right? I know that in Jamaica we also have Family Life, and there are other church affiliated counseling centers that people can go to, see CJST and some of those. As we think about the season, by the way, what is your favorite carol? Because our producer will play it at the end.
Oh, Holy Night.
Wow. Why is it so special to you?
It was the first one I learned. It was my sister's favorite, and she's a great singer. And
Oh,
she's
okay.
always singing it in the house. So it
Okay.
became our favorite. Outside of that is Rappa Pam Pam, because she used to, I used to tease her with that, and she used to tease me with Feliz Navidad. But
Okay.
she sings it with my name and
Oh, okay, okay.
right.
So she do a little fusion.
Right.
Right.
I don't know if I can say this, but she changed the words
And
because
put your name in it.
I put my name in it. Denise
Okay.
Baggy Black, because I was always that dirty little child.
Okay.
Right. So
Right.
we tease each other all the time.
Alright.
Rappa Pam Pam and
But now that this event happened to you during the Christmas season, how do you still look forward to the season? Is it still a season that you hold dear, like many people are seeing the festival? Or how do you view Christmas? Is it a time when you go into a kind of silo?
so I've been through the phase. To tell you that, oh, it's my favorite time of year, and it has always been like that. No. From 1987, I had to reprogram to learn and understand the deeper meaning of Christmas. Because what happened with my sister's death is it caused a shattering of my family.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I want Jamaicans to understand, especially those who are slinging the guns, those who are committing crime. When you take somebody's oath, you're affecting families, you're affecting children, you're affecting parents, you're affecting cousins, uncles, sisters who are left with these trauma, trying to cope, trying to pick up the pieces, trying to survive. I watch my family we just separate. I don't think all of my brothers and sisters have been back together yet because of this, because I remember the last time we were in a room together, we were all crying. right? It's hard to just realize that one person is missing from the family and this person was the glue to the family. So I had to go through the process of just the love that was being poured on me from friends who've become family and from my church community and that kind of thing. I receive it, as much of it.
As
I
you could.
receive it. And like I said, becoming a Christian, understanding who Christ is, the reason for the season, I try to go back there.
Right, right.
And so I embrace that. So now I'm excited about Christmas. It was not always that way. There are many Christmases that I cried. There are many Christmases that I stayed away. Even my best friend family is now my family, and we do Christmas together. But there were many Christmas that I hide from them I could not say why, but they're expecting me to show up, but I couldn't show up for myself, so I couldn't show up for them.
Right, right, right. So, do you find a lot of therapy, how therapeutic rather, do you find being able to socialize and getting out there and interacting? How therapeutic that was that?
So there are times when you really need to be amongst people. And it helps you to forget your own pain and your own trauma. There are other times when you do need to be alone because the setting that you might go in is a trigger. Yes. You might be among a family and you look around and you realize, oh, my family is not here. So you have to understand what you need at the time and seek it.
Right. And I really want to emphasize to all our viewers today that, know where your space is, know your own temperature, what's happening with you, so that you can make those adjustments. What we don't endorse, though, as a counselor myself, is that we don't endorse that continuous silo.
Yes.
Right? Because that can be very debilitating.
Yes.
And it can really render you powerless and hopeless and so on. I know you did a little bit, Miss Johnston, but I just want you to talk to people out there who are just bent on criminality. Just talk to them about why this is such a, I'm trying to find the words here, but how the negative impact of their actions on families, financially and physically, and even spiritually too. Because a lot of people question God.
Right. All right, so you, Mr. Gunman, me talk to you right now. I'm going to talk in a patois because I know you understand me. Yes, me a Jamaican. I'm the face of one who suffered immensely because of actions of people like you. And I'm just one of the many. The traumas in Jamaica are so deep. And maybe your family too has been through it. Maybe you have been through it. A question to you is this something that you really would want for your family or for yourself? And what of your life? What of your soul? At the end of it all, we have to answer to our God.
That's right.
Where do you want your end to be? Hell is real. Are you going to continue to let the enemy use you? My sister, she completed her purpose. And I'm going to boldly say this. I don't believe in untimely death. I believe that her work was completed. She lived, she loved, she laughed. She made the most out of life while she was here. And her time has come. But woe be unto that one who took her life if he hasn't surrendered. I'm talking to you. We have a God to answer to. At the end of it all, we have a God to answer to. Jamaica is a beautiful country, you know. You think I wouldn't want to come back and live here? I would, and I probably will. But it is you and I who can make it better. What are your choices? Why are you choosing this way? It is short term, it is temporal. The majority of those who killed my sister, they're gone. They were killed. Was it worth it? Was that night activities for them worth it? Is it worth it for you? Take a stock of yourself. Look into your life because God is watching you.
Wow, thank you so very much, Miss Johnston. You know, this is one of the first times I ever felt this way on a program, right? Almost speechless. But it's because of the issues that, and the fact that they affect families and they affect children. You know, when you told us that you were catering for 100 children, and when the numbers were done, it was nothing to find 500 kids who are victims, so to speak, or survivors of these kinds of trauma, crime, and violence. And so today, as we reflect in the season, everybody might not be as merry as they want to be because, like Denise, 37 years ago, she had her sister taken from her. And I just want to say that we know that in Christmas, there's two spirits, the spirit of life, Jesus coming into the world, and there's the spirit of Herod that wanted to kill Jesus. But we want to say today on Sip and Chat, let us focus on the gift of life and eliminate that spirit of Herod, spirit of murder, spirit of lawlessness and recklessness, and allow the Spirit of God that gives life and life more abundantly to thrive in this country. We don't need another victim. We don't want another person to be added to that number of young people who are crying. My pastor also did something as well at a crusade when he called up mothers. You know, we told him the night before that the next day we'll be giving mothers roses, and we did not have. We bought so many roses, and we did not have enough roses to give to women who are victims of crime and violence. So we just want to encourage you today to just reflect on your actions. And if you are out there and you are thinking to do something negative, remember that Jesus is still available to give you that hope and fill that void that is causing you to walk wayward. We love you here on Sip and Chat. We thank you so very much for joining us. And remember, God is still God. And if you're out there, you're still redeemable because that's why He came. Any final words?
My final words is just to the people of Jamaica. Remember, it's all about love. Christ came because God loves us. Listen, please extend that love to each other and just let us care more. Let us be more compassionate towards each other. Jamaica needs love. I also want to say thank you to the Ministry of Education that has just partnered with us and caused Pamela Sunrise efforts to swell. I want to say thank you to Wisinko, who supported us by providing the snack for the children. I mean, some of these children are coming from homes where they couldn't afford a lunch, but they didn't leave hungry on that day. Victoria Mutual, who supported us by purchasing tickets, and Real Life Church in Sacramento, California, who blessed us, launched us, sent us off with, like a something. Right. And all the persons who supported us by sponsoring a ticket.
And Markella also came on the trip with you. That's her name, right?
Yes, Markella McWilliams, right. Dr. Marjorie McWilliams for coming and, just doing our thing. Markella for supporting us, building our website while we are on a trip on our cell phone. Can you imagine?
Oh, yeah. We just want to say thanks to everyone. Have a happy holidays. And we will continue to sip and chat with you. Cheers. All the best. Cockatoo.